The Story of Secret and Jasper. Chapter 3. She waited for me. The thing that horses teach you so well is that little things are big things. They teach you how to take time, how to live moment to moment, how to breathe into a single heartbeat, and let that heartbeat stretch out like a whole day, even a week. You blink and wonder where the time went, and yet your body has absorbed an entire set of Encyclopedia Britannica, not from doing, from being. That's how it was with Secret. I spent every day with her, mornings, evenings, feedings, then weekends too, of course. She started claiming whole chunks of my life, not through demand, but through rhythm. And she was always trying to get me to stop paying attention to what the humans were doing, especially the ones who thought they knew everything about horses. You know the kind, the horse people. There's a myth around them, like they're the experts, that they've been riding since the womb, that they can whisper to any horse, see into their soul, fix any problem with their special saddle or secret bit. But underneath that myth, control, ego, dominance cloaked in wisdom, they'd show up with their unsolicited advice like door-to-door prophets ready to tell you everything you were doing wrong and exactly how you were ruining your horse. And Secret, she wasn't having it. Every time one of those people came near me, she'd become an asshole. Not in a chaotic way, in a strategic way. Lead mare energy. She acted up, misbehaved, bucked against their energy like she was running interference. And I started to notice those people hated her, blamed me for her spirit, her resistance, her refusal. Secret was schooling me in how to read a field. If I stayed near them, she'd make sure I'd be embarrassed, make sure they'd write me off. She was saying, flee immediately, take me with you, because if I didn't, she would try to bite them, and I would be blamed. She was teaching me how to leave before the rupture, before I had to explain, before it got ugly. That lesson was about to go deeper. The acquaintance who had first brought me into this horse world was starting to unravel. Our relationship, already lopsided, was fraying. What began as mutual help quickly morphed into manipulation. She let me feed her horses. She let me pay for all their grain, because after all, I was already going to be there anyway. But outside the barn, the red flags multiplied. She was paranoid, convinced everyone was obsessed with her. The man at the grocery store, her best friend's husband, the postmaster, the principal at her kid's school. And I knew it was only a matter of time before I joined the list. She'd accuse me of some betrayal, invent a storyline about my intentions, and make me the villain of her self-authored soap opera. It was the same script she'd used on everyone else, but I missed the exit window. I stayed too long, and that's when the field turned. Her horses, who had never so much as nipped at me, started attacking. One bit my shoulder hard enough to leave a bruise through my jacket. Another charged me full speed in a round pen while I was just standing there, feet flat, not even holding anything. It wasn't a fluke. It wasn't random. They were carrying her. Her resentment, her instability, her projections. And Secret, she put herself between me and those horses every single time. She cut them off, blocked them, risked being kicked or trampled. She intervened. At first I thought it was just weird. Then I realized she was trying to show me. She was revealing the dynamic I didn't yet have language for. That the woman I'd once trusted was using the animals the same way she used people. As tools, as messengers, as enforcers of her distorted reality. And Secret refused to play. She became the buffer. She taught me that animals take on the energies of their people, that field dynamics aren't just metaphor, they're measurable, embodied, visible in every movement of a horse's ears, tail, breath. And she was drawing a line in the dust with her hooves. No more. That experience broke something in me and healed something else, because that was the first time in my life that I'd cut a cord without apology. No slow fade, no explanation. I just left. Secret was my first clean goodbye. But the moment I knew she had chosen me was the day of the forest bolt. We were out walking, just her and me and my 2 little blue heeler pups, Jack and Layla, little speed demons with hearts of gold. They never left my side. Secret barely noticed them. She'd clearly dealt with 1,000,000 dogs before them and had exactly 0 interest in adding 2 more to her contact list. That day we ventured farther out than usual, deep into the woods behind the property. I'd been practicing dropping her lead rope in big open fields, testing whether she'd stick around or bolt. She usually stayed near, grazing quietly, occasionally wandering. But this time something was off. Her body got tighter with every step. What I didn't realize was that we were walking straight into a closed hunting zone. The signs were all over, covered in vines, uncleared, unreadable, and then a gunshot. Distant but sharp. Secret froze, made her alert sound, tense but not panicked. I brushed it off. It's the country. People have guns. And then, just when I let go of the lead rope, she bolted, like a bat out of hell. The dogs took off after her like they were chasing a lure at a greyhound race. Lead rope dragging, dust flying, my entire nervous system collapsing. And my mind? A horror film montage. She's going to run into the road. She's going to be hurt. She's also going to cause a wreck, get hit, die. The dogs will get hit. I'll be sued. I'll be arrested, labeled an animal abuser. My name will be in the paper. I'll go to jail, lose everything, probably end up in some PETA scandal. I ran. Fast, hard, wheezing, every joint screaming. And then I reached the barn. And there she was. Not inside, in front, waiting. Not panicked, not injured, just waiting. I gathered the dogs, ecstatic, panting, ready to do it all again, and threw them in a stall with water. Secret turned to me, flicked her head toward the ground. Pick it up, she seemed to say. Pick up the rope. She shook it, flicked it, made a game out of it, like a teacher handing you your assignment. You're up now. You ready to lead yet? She let me lead her into the stall, let me feed her, let me groom her, let me do all the things I'd never been allowed to do before, not like this. And I felt something rise in me, something warm, rooted, real. Some kind of architecture was being built inside my chest, a structure I didn't even know I needed, made of material I couldn't ever name, but that I knew was unbreakable, irrefutable. She laid the first bricks of my internal house. Or maybe she just showed me how to build it. Either way, the foundation set that day has never cracked. That was the day I started dreaming of her. That was when she began speaking to me not with sound, but with sensation, with images, with a presence that wrapped itself around me like the wind and memory and pulse. I didn't need to be near her anymore to feel it. She had entered my nervous system. She had waited for me, and I would never, could never, be without her again. Field note, the architecture of trust. You don't realize the house is being built until the roof appears overhead, until suddenly, without blueprint or ceremony, you're standing inside something solid, something real, something that does not sway in the wind or collapse under the weight of old fear. That's what trust does when it arrives. Not the kind you earn by performing, not the kind that comes from saying the right words. I mean the trust that comes from a sovereign being, a lead mare, one who has every right to walk away and doesn't. She could have run straight into the road. She could have vanished into the woods. She could have returned to the barn and barred the door with her body, but she didn't. She waited. And then she flicked that lead rope at me like a teacher with a pointer. Pick it up, she said, with her eyes, her breath, her posture. It's yours now. And in that flick, something formed in me that had never existed before. A knowing, a pulse, a structure. That rope was never just a rope. It was the first beam of an internal house laid down by a horse who had waited for me to become the one she could follow. A house made not of wood or rails or nails, but of breath and rhythm and the refusal to bolt. Horses don't give you commands. They give you chances. They offer mirrors, deliberate, brutal, holy mirrors. And when they choose to meet you there, after fear, after chaos, after your panic has stripped you raw, they don't just trust you. They give you back to yourself. They lay down the blueprint. And if you're willing, they let you build from it. That was the day she showed me how. And that was the day I started saying yes to myself too.